Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Okay, so on this channel I have a video on how to make number cakes, but in that video I didn't actually show how to make number cakes, and I have a lot of complaints about it. So in this video today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make number cakes, any number cake whatsoever, or even a letter cake, and I'm going to be showing you the method with which I use, and I'm going to be showing you with this number 3 cake. So 2 weekends ago I had like a birthday cake that was for like a 30-year-old, and it was supposed to be 3 and 0. So I took the opportunity to show you guys how to make a number cake. You can also use this method to make a letter cake, any letter and any number. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that today. Okay, so today I'm going to be using a sheet cake, and I'm dividing it into 2 because I'm going to be making both the 3 and the 0 from this sheet cake. So basically a sheet cake is, you know, those wide cakes. So I'm just cutting it into 2. So in your case, if you have a cake that's not as wide, if you don't have like a sheet pan, you can make like the small pans you have, just make 2, 1 for each one. Yeah, and it's better if it's rectangular or square, not round, but rectangular is a lot best for you. You can use round also, but this method I'm showing you guys today is how to use like rectangular or square cakes, you know, just, you know, plain, you know, symmetrical shapes. Okay, so I'm dividing this cake into 2 equal halves, and then I'm going to show you how to make the number 3. So the first thing you want to do is take like a cardboard that is the size of an A4 paper, or if you don't have a cardboard, just take an A4 paper, maybe those papers you print on and everything. Even if one side is already printed on, you just need the paper. Basically, you don't need to write anything on it, you just need the paper so you can form like an outline. So if you notice what I'm doing right now, I'm sketching out a number 3 as big as possible. I don't want to have to cut out too much cake. So you want to make sure you make the part as big as possible so you don't waste too much cake, you get. So now I'm sketching out a number 3, and if you notice by the side I already sketched out the 0, but I decided to show you guys how to sketch out the number 3 because that's a little bit more complicated. So once you have your sketch laid out, then we are going to start carving our cake. Okay, so in this video, sorry guys, I'm obsessed with cleaning. In this video, yeah, on this channel I have a video on how to carve cakes. So I gave like 5 rules to carving your cakes before you even start carving, during carving, and after carving for beginners. So if you want to see them, I'm going to put the link right up here. If I haven't yet, forgive me, I'll still get to it. I'm sorry. Okay, so right now I'm cutting out the outline so the shape of the number 3 can come out perfectly. Yeah, I'm cutting out the excess cardboard and stuff. So if you're using an A4 paper, it's going to be a little bit thinner than this cardboard, so you want to make sure you're careful when you cut it so you don't like mess up your outline and stuff. So once we are done, we are going to put this on top of our cake and trace it. The reason why I'm saying you should use a square cake or a rectangular cake or half of a sheet is because that is approximately the size of an A4 paper. Yeah, so that makes your work a lot easier, and that way your customer gets a lot of cake. You won't finish carving and then the cake will be small. Yeah. Okay, so now this is our cake and we are gonna get started. Okay, so what you want to do is take a knife. You want to take a serrated knife, and you want to make sure it is sharp. No blunt knives around here because it will make your cut rough and kind of difficult to, like, it will be difficult to cover neatly with fondant. I don't know if my English made sense. So you want to take like a sharp knife. Yeah, in this case I couldn't find my serrated knife, so if you have a serrated knife, please use that. I just couldn't find my knife, so I had to make do with this. I'm just making the outline. If you notice, I'm not cutting out too much cake because I made sure my outline had like parts that were big enough, so I'll reserve as much cake as possible for my clients. So you want to bear that in mind so you don't cut out too much cake. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is go in between those shapes, those like corners, and try to carve out your cake as much as possible. And make sure you're holding the knife straight so it won't be slanty. Okay, so once you are done, you want to take out the excess, and then you're going to have your perfectly carved number 3. Okay, this cake was easy to carve because it was refrigerated in advance. So if you want to see like steps to how to carve cakes, I'm going to put the link in the description box below. I have a video for you guys for that, especially if you're a beginner. Yes, so look at the luscious inside of this cake that I cut out. Yeah, so you want to take that. Some of those went in my mouth. Yeah. I can't help it. Okay, now this is our perfectly carved out number 3. So the next thing I want to do is do a crumb coat. Sometimes I like to use buttercream and sometimes I like to use ganache. But when it comes to cakes like this, I'm not going to be layering, like cutting into slices to, put fillings and like frosting in the middle. I like to cover with cream. That way, like when they cut the cake, there's going to be a layer of fondant and then a layer of cream. That way to be delicious and easier to eat. Yeah. It won't just be, ganache is a little bit firmer. You want there to be cream so the cake can be also delicious for those eating it. You just don't want it to be pretty alone. So we are going to be crumb coating with buttercream. And this is my chocolate buttercream. This is my Ukrainian chocolate buttercream. If you want the recipe, I have a video on the channel and I'm going to put the link right up here. It says click on that. And if I haven't put it by the time you watch this video, please forgive me. The link is going to be in the description box below. I'm sorry, like I have a lot to do on most days, so like it takes me a while to get to these things. Yeah, I need an assistant, I know. Okay, so you want to make sure you crumb coat those nooks and crannies as best as possible, and then you go around the cake and take out the excess cream. Yep. Okay, now once you're done crumb coating your number 3 cake, you want to spread out your fondant, yeah? And you want to spread it out as long and as wide that can cover in the cake, so there won't be like patches or sides of the cake that are not covered, because this kind of cakes are very difficult to make clean if like you don't spread your fondant wide enough and there are patches, so it can be a little bit difficult. So make sure like you roll it as wide and as long as possible. Okay, so once you rolled it as wide and as long as possible, we are going to place it on top of our fondant and then we are going to cover our cake. So if you're going to be doing maybe a number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, the letter A, B, C, whatever it is you're going to be doing, make sure you follow these steps I use, because it's going to make your life a lot easier. And these steps can make almost any number cake for you, number or letters, yeah? And if you are going to be crumb coating and ganache, it is better you brush all around your cake with some jam, or maybe some jam or some fruit compote and stuff. That way there is more moistness and there is something for your clients to eat the cake with, because you want it to be delicious, not just pretty. Yeah. Okay, so now I lifted the fondant and then I placed it on. So covering this cake might be a little bit tricky, so you need to take your time. You need to go slowly, and first of all you need to go into those nooks and crannies before you like go to the other sides of the cake. So if you notice, I'm covering the back and then the sides. And if you notice, the top is a little kind of rough, but don't worry, I'm going to show you how to smoothen that, especially if you don't know how to smoothen irregular shapes, because that way you can't use a regular fondant smoothener. Okay, so now we're getting into that middle side. The middle can be very tricky, so you want to take a knife, yeah, and you want to pierce so you can be able to push the fondant as far back inside as possible, yeah. If you notice what I did, I pierced the fondant a little bit, so I'm going to be pushing it as far back inside as possible. It's still going to make some like there's still going to be some tears, and we are going to fix that as we go ahead. But before those, you want to make sure you push it inside as much as possible. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. It wasn't so easy, but it was okay. So you want to take your time as best as you can, so like it can be neat and nice once you are done. Notice what I'm doing. I'm using my fingers at this stage, and you want to make sure it is neat. You don't want to, if your fingers touch the cream and get dirty, make sure you clean it before you continue smoothing. Otherwise, you're going to put some cream on you're going to transfer some cream on top of your fondant, and then it's going to be dirty and rough, and you don't want that. So now we're just going to smoothen as much as possible, but we can't smoothen all around the cake with the cake smoothener, because this kind of cake smoothener is for like flat regular surfaces. This cake is kind of not very regular because it has plenty nooks and crannies, so I'm going to tell you how to fix it. So you want to cut out the excess fondant and then take a little piece of the excess fondant and pop it in the microwave. So you're going to take it while it is soft and going to be rubbing it all around the cake, and that's what I'm doing right now. That way it kind of smoothens all the irregular corners of the cake for you and makes it as smooth as possible. I don't know if that makes sense, you guys, but if what I'm saying doesn't make too much sense, just look at what I'm doing. I hope you get it that way. Okay, so this is what I'm doing right now, just smoothing it until it's as smooth as possible. And whatever cake you're doing, maybe an A, a B, or a number 5, number 7, you're going to be repeating the same thing. You're going to be getting perfectly made and covered fondant, number, or letter cakes. So thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it is useful to you. Thank you for always watching my videos. Plus, please give me a thumbs up on this video. I'd really appreciate it. So this was the cake when I was done. This was a 3 and a 0 and it was so pretty. Yeah. Thank you guys so much and I will see you in my future videos. Bye.